back. They have won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's tough enough to win one. We've done two, so you might as well go for three, right?
Our time, baby, back to back. That's how we do it.
What do you think of this team?
Unbelievable. Nobody can beat us. Back to back years.
It's so much fun to be a part of. The crowd can have an effect on teams. The emotions get turned up.
And then last year, they gave Vezina to somebody else. Number one bullshit. Oh, number one bullshit.
Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
Welcome to We. The Thunder and Shooter. We are here with Mr. Mustachio. That's Dash.
Is it the mustache?
Is it the mustache? We don't know. And El Professor Thomas Scully. He's got no music. He doesn't need any music. Got 0 hockey games to talk about. Actually, that's not true. We've got an all-star game and a skills competition, and we've got a big-time player re-signed. But before we talk about that, let's bring in our guest tonight. You know him from your radio waves. He does some awesome stuff with the Lightning, maybe even a post-game show himself. And you can see him or hear him on WDAE. with Ian Beckles from Beckles and Recher. Let's give him the countdown. Mish, what do you say? Let's hear it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's Jay Recher.
Woo! My man, Dave Mishkin. Listen, let me tell you guys, if you've never been in the same, I don't even want to say the same room, but in the same vicinity of Dave Mishkin when he's going absolutely bonkers, it's something where the first time it happens, it scars you a little bit. And then I don't want to say you ever get used to it because I don't know if you do, but you're just watching the game all of a sudden. And it's, oh my gosh, bro. I'm so glad that I don't have a heart condition because I'd be in trouble, but he's the best.
They used to do an STM experience where it was in the booth with them during one of the periods. And I've got to do that twice. And I told the guys about it. Like, it's an experience. That's probably the best experience I've ever had in my life is being in the booth. Because not only do you actually hear that, and it does, the first time scares you, but just hearing them talk between breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Espo is a riot, and the things he says when they're not on air, and just the combo of them two together is great.
I said this on the show the other day. I don't know if I actually said the whole story, but when I write a book one day about like my career, there will be an entire chapter about Phil Esposito because for some reason that guy has just taken a liking to me. And I'm so blessed and grateful for all the opportunities that I've gotten. But for some reason, like Phil will be talking to like Scotty Bowman and Larry Robinson. There's like 25 cups between these guys. And he'll go, excuse me. And he'll come over and just elbow me. And he'll look at me and goes, you're from New York. You can take it. And I'm just like, who the hell does that? Like, it's just, he's just one of a kind type of dude, man. And yeah, we're so blessed to have Dave and Phil. You know, it's just great. It's great to be with you guys, man. Thank you so much for having me. I missed you guys.
Listen, Espo actually warned us when you were coming on, and he said this.
What is going on?
I told Phil, I said, I'm going to Vegas, Phil. You know, we have him on our show every Thursday at 5:05. So when I saw him last Tuesday, I go, Phil, I won't be on the show. It's just going to be you and Ian. He goes, why the hell not? I go, I'm going to Vegas for the All-Star game. He goes, can you spend any more time wasting your life away doing absolutely nothing? And I'm just like, nobody busts my balls like Phil Esposito. It's great.
Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
That's him.
One of those. All right, so we want to hear, you were in Vegas. We want to hear about Vegas. Hopefully that's a whole different chapter in the book you're writing right now. But we've got the big news that came down the night, and I don't think any of us were really expecting it on this show. 2 more years of Big Rig.
Heck yeah.
How awesome is that? And there was a lot of people. There you go. St. Patrick Tom, he's all over it. Yeah, I know there was a lot of people that are thinking with how the roster is and everything, like maybe this could be kind of the last hurrah for Pat Maroon. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe like having a guy like Corey Perry in town, like one of his best friends on the planet. And it just seems like he's settled in. He's settled into the Tampa Bay area. And listen, he's a guy, you know what you're going to get. He's a bottom 6 forward. He's going to give you some time on that second power play unit, and he's going to stand up for pretty much everybody on your team. And he just, Paul Kennedy, you guys know Paul Kennedy from Valley Sports. He put something on Twitter today that like it struck a chord with me. He goes, every Bolt stands a little bit taller when Patrick Maroon's on the team. And I was just like, that was so well said. And he's that dude.
He's an ambassador. He's become an ambassador for this team too, for the new guys coming in.
For sure.
Not just Perry, but almost every single guy to a man that's come since he's been here said one of the first guys I got a text from was Big Rig.
Yeah.
He's one. Show me around. He's one. And there's just become this different mentality, I think, to the team in the locker room where he's like the unofficial captain. We were talking about it before the show and in the green room about him and Pointer kind of become like, dude, what's like this is it's like such an
odd couple.
Odd couple, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've become such good friends, but that is what I think goes to show why you sign this guy for $1 million a year. I mean, that's chump change really for a guy that brings this kind of veteran leadership and moxie. And like you said, PK said it best. Everyone walks a little bit taller because even though he's that guy that's like, after the parade and up there with just the Panama hat and the scarf and just loving life, he's still all business too when it comes to hockey, and he knows what it takes in that locker room and how to go through the ebb and flows of the season. And I mean, absolutely kind of guy you want at the bottom of your roster, but that's always there in that clubhouse day in, day out. And he doesn't miss games either. That's the other thing.
No,
he's
at
his
durable,
age, and he has not missed games here at all. So
listen, if you're a guy that has the balls to fight Zdeno Chara multiple times, not just, hey, I'm going to try to fight the guy that's like 7'12" on his skates. No, he's fought him, I think, 3 or 4 times in his career, that crazy son of a gun. So, yeah, I mean, that guy's not backing down from anybody because once you throw hands with Chara, I mean, it's like you've seen, like, the Grim Reaper, Like, what else is there to be scared about?
I asked Nigel Curran one time, I said, who would we be surprised is the nicest person in the locker room? And he said Patty Maroon. He said when they went to Sweden, that literally he came out to every single sponsor, shook every sponsor's hand, thanked them for being a sponsor. He said, anytime we do anything, we have any of those where players meet the sponsors, Big Rig is always the last one out of the room because he's always busy talking to them and thanking them, and that he's really a true ambassador for this team. And then, as we saw, he's also someone we can put out there on the shootout. Apparently,
once you get to 6, 7, 8, it's kind of slim picking. Just start looking down the bench, like you. Okay, yeah.
Do you ever say Patty Maroon over some of the ones that were left on the bench?
I know, but that's the thing is like we're looking, and I was like, all right, why him? But then you look at like Palat is like 1 for 8, and then Cirelli was like 0 for 3. So it's just like when you start looking at some of those other names, you're like, I think when you get to that point, you're just like, all right, let's see, because there's been worse players at Patrick Maroon that have scored, and then there's been better players that have gotten stoned too. So.
Yeah,
damned if you
don't. Said on their politic, and I said that on the show. Like, he said, hey, Coach, I gotta move, Coach. I promise you, I gotta move. And then he just goes out there and completely blows it, and they're all laughing at him. So, like, I mean, sometimes you just gotta have those moments too throughout the season to keep it light. kind of what we were
Maybe
talking
that
about
was the
before.
turning point on the contract extension. I don't sign again unless I get a shootout.
Just
I
the
like that.
versatility.
Remember though, they said he was 1 for 2 before that shot last week. So
Yeah.
He might have had the best percentage out of the players that were left over. But I think it speaks volumes that they went ahead and did that, especially in the middle of the season. I think, like, I don't want to speak for the rest of you guys, but like, I know on this show, I felt like we were kind of lukewarm when Maroon came to town. It was like, oh, this guy's old. He's kind of slow. He's known as Fat Pat. I think it's safe to say he's won us and most Tampa Bay fans over by now, and obviously the Lightning front office. So definitely the biggest news of the day, Lightning wise.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this All-Star game. Jay, you were there. It must have been a crazy weekend in Vegas. You didn't get swung at by Alvin Kamara, did you? You look like you're
I avoided
black
that.
guys or anything. Yeah, I was following you on Instagram. You and Greg were just all over it. It was just like lightning porn on Instagram, just going through like everything that you guys had on there. I was telling people on Twitter they need to go like check out your stories.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thank you for, I know that takes time to do all that stuff and post all that stuff. So thank you for doing that. But what was the highlight while you were there?
Got to be Carter Stamkos, huh? Did you guys see that tweet? Holy smokes.
Absolutely, yeah. The Zamboni. I tweeted out yesterday because yesterday was the captain's birthday, and I was like, somebody take the captain for a Zamboni ride for his birthday. But yeah, like how cute is little baby Stamkos? Like, I can't get enough of that kid.
Sorry, I'm just losing myself over here.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable, man. And just to be able to kind of see them walk in, I saw him and I was like, uh-oh, this could be good. So I had my phone ready. Not many people had their phone ready, so I was very lucky to kind of be in the position to have the phone rolling, and then that was just gold. And to be able to get my question in real quick, it was good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, that was amazing. Now, while you're there, you're working. Did you get to, like, you're up in the booth, I'm guessing, watching the skills comp and the All-Star game. Now, me and Stash got together for the skills comp. I saw a lot of people complaining about it online.
Yeah.
We had a great time watching it. I thought it was one of the best skills competitions I've seen in years. I thought they were getting boring.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I thought they were getting boring, and to mix in these two events, even though they were pre-recorded or whatever. I know people were upset.
Guys, give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
But yeah, let's talk about that, because the Lightning came out looking pretty good in the skills competition. You had the goalie competition where they were a tandem,
which was different this year. The last several years it was just the goalie by itself. Now this year they did the division goalies.
Yeah. And it was basically whoever had the most save streaks or the longest save streak. Vasi got paired with Jack Campbell. They went first and went on a nice streak of 9 saves in a row. So Vasi and Jack Campbell took it. I think one of the funny parts about that was Vasi got scored on with the Kuch goal.
Kucherov.
Yeah.
And I it's funny because I asked Kreider about that, and Kreider says, yeah, I took it from Kucherov, which is cool. And then I don't know, not many people saw it, but Kreider actually went up to Vasi after, because sometimes, like when Kucherov did that to Holtby, like he didn't say anything to him afterwards.
Yeah.
So people just thought there was kind of like beef there, because the Caps and the Lightning don't really get along all that great. But Kreider went up to him and was like, hey, it's all love. And Vasi's like, no, bro, that's a great move. Like, I get it. And so then I mentioned something to Vasi after, and Vasi goes, yeah, it was staged. And I was surprised that didn't like get more traction and more like attention.
Yeah.
But it was so funny that he said that. It's just,
I thought
Vasi's really showing out. Like, that's, guys, when Vasi first came on the scene, remember in the 2015 finals against the Blackhawks, and he got thrown into that game because Bishop got hurt. It was such a surreal thing, because we were in the locker room and Vasi didn't speak much English.
Nope.
And all these people rushed him. And I just remember sitting back and I just felt so bad for this guy, because it's like he didn't think he was going to get in the game. He's in the Stanley Cup final and he doesn't speak English all that well. And now he's just like, he's so funny and he makes these little quips. And even like during media day, he was like, yeah, we're here to represent our city. And I was like, that's so freaking cool, man. Like, it's not just I'm here and I want to do well and I want to represent the team. He was like, no, I want to represent the city, and just shows how far he's grown forget about as a hockey player, as a person. So for him to be like, yeah, it was staged, and have that kind of like tongue in cheek type answer, it's cool to see a guy like that grow before your eyes.
It was funny too, because on the broadcast, AJ interviewed them after the goalie competition, and she asked, who is the hardest, most difficult shooter to face? Bassie's like, myself, me. It's all in my head, right? And then she's like, so then later she asked Hedman after the hardest shot competition after he won. He was like, all right, who's taking this the most seriously? He was like, absolutely Vassie. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And I was like, it was hilarious in the broadcast to see Vassie be like, of course, I'm the biggest challenge. And then Hetty's like, yeah, he's taking it the most seriously. It's great to see him on that stage, like you say, have that personality, because especially, I mean, just the Russian guys in general on this team, how much they've grown the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, and Vazzy, it's a great point to bring up, Stash. He when I asked him about like the next couple of days, like how cool is it to be here with like Hedman and Stamkos, and he was like, yeah, but we're out here to compete. Like, he just kind of like, he was like, he's like, we're out here to compete, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, awesome. And it's not like it's his first time here.
Yeah.
So good for him.
It's funny. You could see everybody else just having fun, but you saw Vassie's serious face during the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody else is just like, the goal went in or blah, blah, blah. And Vassie's
not
like
him.
ready to
He doesn't ever. He don't ever want to give up a goal.
Well, you saw Vassie.
Neither did Manon either. She was like, I'm not. She was taking that pretty seriously on the break.
She poke checked somebody. I was like, come on, Manon.
But listen, I think that was staged. That was Jack. I think that was staged
for
the Houston, because then he went back and got the little mini, like, I think that part of it was, but still, it was hilarious because on the broadcast, like, oh no, not the poke check. Like, good stuff.
So, I mean, they showed up for that skills comp because you got Vassie with the win. You had Hedman, hardest shot, 103.2. I love how that's his event now. Like, it used to be owned by Chara, right? And now Chara's, not quite all-star caliber anymore. Looking at retirement. And now it's like, that's Hetty's event to lose, really. So it's good to see him win. And then Stammer almost pulled off the 21 and 22, which I thought was an awesome event. So they go outside, they put up all these cards, and then these guys start shooting. And I don't know if you saw that, Jay. They probably had it on the big screen, right?
Yeah, they did.
All of the players got 21 the first time. That's how good these guys are. I was like telling Stash, like, those cards are too big for these guys.
Yeah.
But Pavelski won it. Pavelski really didn't miss a shot.
No.
He was on fire. And I felt like that one, Stammer wasn't taking it as seriously. His first shot was he just ripped one. He
took a slap shot. And that's the thing is, like, I think he showed up to that going, yeah, we're just going to have fun. And I'm going to take a slap shot. Yeah. And then the competitive juices started flowing. And then you saw Stammer like, oh, no, hell no. I'm not going out. Like you see Austin Matthews there. You see some of these other big players there. You're like, I don't want to make myself look like an idiot out here either. Yeah. And it just shows you how Joe Pavelski, to me, one of my favorite players, American guy, always has the white stick. Remember, he was very close to being a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning a couple of years ago, eating lunch with Julian Breezeball here in Tampa. So it's just kind of ironic. And he's another guy that, he could be moved at the trade deadline. So keep an eye on Joe Pavelski.
New York Rangers.
He's a guy that could be put over the hump there. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was cool. And Shooter, you were asking before I took my little siesta there, like what people thought about the skills competition there. I think people love the skills competition. The only problem is, like, when you go off site and you start doing stuff that's outside the building, like, it was like kind of quiet. So I think people like the 21 and 22 thing, but I think if they do that again, do it on the ice there in the building and do like maybe an LED board where you can, like, hit something, just like kind of how they did the accuracy contest a couple of years ago. The other one with the kind of the passing thing, that kind of fell on deaf ears. It was kind of tough to watch on TV, and it was dark at the Bellagio. Yeah. And it was weird the way they did a camera angle. I get the idea that it wasn't the greatest for me. But to me, I'm an old school traditionalist. I like the hardest shot, fastest skater, breakaway challenge type of thing. But, to see the Trevor Zegras thing, guys, in person, like everybody was looking around like, what the hell did we just watch? And it looked like if you watch this on TV, you could think like it's CGI or something. Like,
Right.
dude, you could think that, all right, you can't see through the whole blindfold, and you could, bro, even if you did that with your eyes wide open, to be able to spin around that many times and to be able to score the goal like that, I mean, tip your hat to the kid. And he wasn't even in the All-Star game. They put him in there for that, and he rose to the occasion. That dude was an unbelievable. He was the star of the weekend for sure.
He was robbed.
Yeah.
He was robbed. I thought even the Jack Hughes goal was cool with the magic trick. And then who'd they give it to? John Hamm scores like a 9
Petrangelo,
the hometown guy.
Yeah.
And
the home ice thing, you get it. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of those things where it's just like, hey, the Vegas fans loved it, but even the fans that were there were like, come on, bro, it's got to be Zegras, you know, or at least Jack Hughes. But not
that was the headline.
Well, and I saw either yesterday or today. I was bumming on the internet, and I actually saw like footage of Zegras practicing it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like he had his stick doctored and like maybe a little bit of backwards tape to help a little bit, but it's not like he had it like on his stick before he legitimately practiced making that move. So yeah, I mean, the more and more I look at it and watch it, the more impressive it's become to me. So
another thing, it was nice to see all the females involved in the All-Star competition. It was nice having them in there.
It was I'm forgetting her name, but the woman from USA Hockey,
Jocelyn Lamar Davidson.
She should have made the finals. She almost made the finals in that Bellagio one.
Yeah.
You know who they didn't do any favors for is old Marchie, our guy Marchessault in the magic trick.
Oh, the magic
How did
trick.
did you see that in the arena, Jay? The awkward moment where it looked like Marchessault couldn't read. And like I'm sure it was like something on that card that wasn't supposed to be there or something.
He was supposed to say Metropolitan Division, and he did not say anything.
You could tell there was like the magic type thing because there was guy in house that was doing some stuff. He did some good tricks, but then that one everybody was like, people didn't get it there either. So I mean, it's Vegas, so you have to have it. Vegify or whatever, the Las Vegasian type of thing, but it just. A lot of that stuff didn't work. And people were like, cool, next.
I think it was Marchessault that was a last minute addition because they thought one of the players was going to be in COVID protocol. And so that's why they ended up having one extra player. They had the 9 rather than the 8. And that's also why Connor McDavid didn't get to go on the streak. Because they had the one extra player. Marchie was the one added to the rosters.
Overall, I thought it was cool. It made me wonder what they're going to do down in South Florida. It's just
going to say
that location's just such a weird spot. It's not like you can have them go to
downtown
South Beach
festivities,
and do stuff because it's an hour away.
That's something we were talking about in the building at T-Mobile Arena. It was like, cool. We can drive there. What the hell are they going to do around the arena? Like, have you guys been there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it's like a building and a big ass parking lot all the way around. It's like,
and then there's there's the Coconut Grove or whatever that
the mall
center that's kind of close to it. That's like
like the outlets are right there.
Yeah, the outlet mall. That's like that's about it. Like
the more and more like as we're talking about it, I'm thinking like maybe they do stuff like in the parking lot. You know, maybe they do something where like they build kind of like how they did like the NFL experience of the Super Bowl at Raymond James years ago. Yeah. Maybe they do something like that where like they build like an on-scene type of thing for the fans. So hey, there's cool. Stephanie, one of my favorite Lightning fans out here. Stephanie's the best.
Shoot the pucks at alligators in the Everglades. Hey, there's some breaking news in the chat. I don't know when this all came out, but I've seen a couple people, including Matt.
Yep.
Rask is done.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, they gave up on that experience.
I did not see that before we came on, so I don't know if that just came out or what. But I like the results for that for the Lightning potentially. Yeah. What about the All-Star game? So I wasn't too excited about it because the Atlantic lost 8-5 in their first match, so we didn't get to see our boys in the final.
Yeah.
There was a pivotal moment though, where Hedman scored to take the lead in that game, but Kyle Connor already scored for the Central. So Hedman's goal didn't count because they went back and gave Kyle Connor the goal, and Hedman's goal was taken away. And then from there, it was all Central. Stamkos had a beautiful goal. a breakaway goal in that game. But how was the game, the actual All-Star game? And did they do anything for you media guys like afterwards? Did you have like a party or anything, or did they just send you onto your hotel room or the craps table to lose all your money?
No, well, Greg Wolf, there was like a little block party thing for some of the VIPs. Didn't go. Once the game was over, guys, I was just like, I need to get back to my hotel. I need to take this suit off, and I just want to go out to dinner and just enjoy the rest of my Saturday night. That was kind of my big thing. But the All-Star game, it is what it is, man. It's, for the beginning of the first game, everybody was kind of like sitting on their hands. I mean, it's a lot of passing. It's 3-on-3. So I get like there's going to be changes. I just feel like they're not shooting the puck from beyond the faceoff dot. Like the hardest shot happened once. It was Austin Matthews on a one-timer. Everything is up close. So it's just like guys are overpassing. And then the only way they score is on a breakaway or a 2-on-1 or a backdoor play. So you're not seeing like super big time competition. I know the winners get $1 million, but you want to see the like Atlantic guys do good. You see Stammer with his patented move on the breakaway. But to me, it was like, all right, well, they're out good. Nobody got hurt. Let's get the hell out of here. And that's and then Carter Stamkos came in. So then it was just
right.
And we were in the media room when Machine Gun Kelly was playing. And it was kind of crazy because, we love Emily, but T-Mobile Arena is badass in Vegas, man. It really is super, super nice. What a great venue for concerts and for hockey. But we were literally like, guys, I'm talking 100, maybe 100 yards, maybe not even that much from the ice level. And we didn't even hear it. So soundproof, those rooms downstairs.
Wow.
And to be able to see Carter Stamkos come in and listen, it was like 3 or 4 of us. And then all of a sudden, when the Lightning guys came in and Carter was there, all the national media came over. And I think that's like one of my biggest takeaways from the trip, guys, and you'll appreciate this, is that like the love and respect and the admiration that people have for this organization, it's second to none. Like people like come by me and like, I even think like people are nicer to me just because like cover the Lightning. Like it's just like by a byproduct of that. But it's such a blast. And when you have 3 guys like Vazzy, Hedman, and Stammer to like represent your city like that, like it's so cool. Like talking to Hedman after the fact about like soccer and just, he's ready to go back. And like as soon as the All-Star game was done, those guys showered and they were on a plane. They headed back to Tampa. So like I don't even think the All-Star game might have been done. And they were already like on their way back. They were like, okay, time to go. And they were off, but they did what they had to do, and they represented the team and the city, to the best of their ability. And
only team that had 3 players voted in. Vegas had 3 players, but they weren't voted in.
Oh, replacement.
Yeah, so
that's a great point.
We're the only one that had 3 voted in,
and that's why I think you could go 4 on. That's why another reason I think you can go 4-on-4 and get more people in, because I would, I get it. Like I know you want every team to be represented because I think that's way more important than hockey than other sports. You need every team. And I know some people say, oh, they don't deserve to be there. Claude Giroux, Nick Suzuki, some of these guys, Rasmus Dahlin on the Sabres. I get that. But hockey needs All-Star Weekend more than any of the other major sports. You need to grow the game. So you need representation from every single team because you don't know, man. You don't know what kid's going to turn in or tune in that he may be in Buffalo and never seen hockey before and sees Rasmus Dahlin kicking everybody's ass. And boom, now you're a hockey fan. Look at Jordan Kyrou. He was one of the biggest stars of the weekend. You beat Connor McDavid in the fastest skater competition. Victor Hedman, I tweeted this out too, said he's already a superstar. St. Louis Blues fans were all over my Twitter, loving that video. And if you're a person in St. Louis that maybe not be a hockey fan, you go, bro, that guy just skated faster than the best player in the world. I got to tune in the next time the Blues play. Those are the kind of little things. You never know where that's going to happen in North America. And, football, that's why they don't care about the Pro Bowl. They don't need the Pro Bowl to get more fans. Like, you don't watch the NBA All-Star Game or the MLB All-Star Game if you're not a basketball or baseball fan. But hockey, a lot of people that aren't fans, and you guys know this, they're not fans because they don't know about the sport. But every single one of you guys, people that have never been to a hockey game, but they went to Amalie Arena one time and they go away and they go, what the hell have I been missing? And that's why All-Star Weekend is so important for the game of hockey. I just, I'd like to have a couple more players in there. It can't hurt.
And I, to your point, I think that it would be cool if they actually fleshed out the skills competition even more. Because I'm with you. I'm a traditionalist and I like the old school competitions, but I think that's one of the biggest draws of the casual fan to the NHL All-Star Game is the skills competition.
Agreed.
And the better you can make that, and the more engaging and the more exciting you can do, and the more of your stars that you can feature, the better, So even if they had something where they did like a delegation from each team, and they don't necessarily have to be an all-star, but hey, you send a group of guys, and then they have like some kind of mini tournament with your guys representing, and you actually play 3-on-3, but it's from each team, and then there, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of hockey. I don't know, maybe play a 10-minute period, who knows? But like, there's ways, I think, like you're saying, expand the whole weekend a little bit more, make it more of that marquee event, because you're right, the marketing is important for the NHL, and the All-Star Game, All-Star Weekend has always been huge.
And they made a smart move, guys, going to Saturday. So they're not on Sunday anymore. So they're not going against the Pro Bowl, which was good. And man, just being in Vegas, like somebody asked me, like, you see any signs for like the Pro Bowl? And I'm like, not really. I think I saw one sign. It's hockey stuff everywhere. So, football, people got mad at us on the show last week. You didn't talk about the Pro Bowl. Like, the NFL doesn't care about the Pro Bowl. The players don't care about the Pro Bowl. They don't even tackle. They're playing two-hand touch. They don't care. Why the hell should we care?
Has Brady even ever played in a Pro Bowl?
I think it was like the last 12 years he hasn't played in there or something crazy like that.
He's made the Pro Bowl and has never played in the Pro, or at least, nobody cares, dude.
Yeah, it used to be prestigious back when it was in Hawaii. Like Deion Sanders put out a big tweet on how it's really gotten shitty over the years.
At least you used to get the vacation to Hawaii, right?
Right.
Now it's like these random spots. I know, Jay, you got to run.
We'll do a couple more. Let's do a couple more minutes, because
I want to know, like, what are your thoughts on, the second half of the season? We have this kind of weird schedule the next couple weeks. We've got the Stadium Series coming up, and then it's back into 2 months regular season hockey. This team's got a chance to really kind of put everything together and roll into the playoffs and go for the three-peat. Do you see them making any moves? Yes, they have zero room to make any moves with the cap, but do you see them trying to do anything? What do you think really the focus is going to be for this kind of second half of the season going into the playoffs?
Well, I think these next couple of weeks, it's just going to be kind of like a crapshoot, because it's such an inconsistent schedule. And once, after the outdoor game, when they start getting on their usual, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule, that's when I think they'll start honing in on their game. And I know sometimes fans don't want to hear that. And it's like, I want them to win every game. I get that. Just to me, stay healthy. That's the most important thing. Look at the Eastern Conference standings. I mean, the 8 teams that are in the playoff spots right now are probably going to be the 8 teams that are in there. I mean, you can look at the bottom end of the guys and maybe the last 2, but I'm looking at the team like the Lightning. They are not worried about playoff position or even making the playoffs. Yeah, people would say, oh, yeah, you don't want to play Florida until you have to, but they're in the same division as Florida. So, it's not like you're going to play. It's just you can't worry about things like that. I mean, you saw what happened a couple of years ago. We're not even going to talk about what happened a couple of years ago. The best record doesn't mean anything. Just get in. Once you get in, if you're good enough and you have a goalie that's good enough, like Andrei Vasilevsky, you could win at home. You could win on the road. You can win in a pond up in Lake Oswego, where I went to college in upstate New York. It don't matter. So to me, health is the most important thing. And you get Chernak and Bogosian back hopefully soon. Those guys weren't practicing today, but Kucherov was back on the ice with the first power play unit, with Point and Palat on the first line. And now you're starting to see what the forward lines are going to look like. It's Point, Palat, and Kucherov, Stamkos, Cirelli, and Killorn. You got the old men on the third line, and then the young kids on the fourth line. I think one of the other things that you're going to have to figure out too is it Radish or is it Kachuk? Because Radish gives you more of an offensive game. Kachuk gives you more of a physical game. So I think you're probably going to roll Radish out more. Like if it's game 1 of the playoffs, Radish is going to get the start. But if like the same way that they would put Luke Shen in the lineup a couple years ago, remember that? And they were like, we need to put some punch in there. They'll do the same thing with Kachuk.
It's going to be a matchup. Just based
if
on
Radish
not
doesn't
even just
score, if Radish doesn't score for a couple games,
Series.
And you're like, hey, let's bring in somebody because Kachuk's going to fly around like a maniac and be able to, make some hits. As far as moves go, I don't see like them making any moves. And here's the thing is like, you don't want to trade some of the guys that have played a little bit, like the Darren Radish and the Schuster and the Clayson and the Day and some of those guys. Because you never know. You want to be able to call on them if you need them. but you have no cap room. So you got to be able to send guys out if you're going to bring guys in. And I think the way it is right now, and especially because a guy like Andre Palat, I mean, I know you guys know he's not going to be here next year. It's just he deserves to make money, and somebody's going to pay him, just like the Rangers played Goodrow, just like the Calgary Flames Blake Coleman. You want that guy's earned it, bro. That guy's earned it to go make your money, bro. Go make your money and build a big-ass house in the Czech Republic because you freaking deserve it. And let's send him out with the third straight cup. They know that it's going to be highly unlikely to bring that guy back. So some people ask, well, why don't you trade him at the deadline? You don't want to do that because I think it severely hurts your team. And what you guys have seen is when he's not in the lineup or even when a Kucherov is out, he's so good. He's like the perfect glue guy to bring everybody together. You saw it on the triplets line years ago, and then you saw it when he was out, recently a couple weeks ago. They put Matthew Joseph.
That's the worst they looked.
Yeah,
I think the worst they looked all season was when Pally was out. They weathered whenever Kuch was out, Point was out. When Pally was out, that's the worst they looked because they don't have anywhere to fill that role on the top line. You can kind of tweak it around, put Cirelli up there when Point's out or Kucherov or whatever else, but you're right, Pally, and I was so critical for a long time of Pally. This guy, who knows what he does? The more and more that this team has been successful, the more and more you go back and look and see how much it starts with Andre Palat.
That's a great point. And you know what, Stash? I'm glad that you said that because he really is one of the more polarizing guys in this team because you look at his point production and you're like, I don't get it. But he's one of those guys where you realize how important he is when he's not there. And you look at the forwards and how they get back, he drags the team into the fight sometimes. And then when he was out and it was Point and Kucherov and they tried Matthew Joseph, they're like, all right, let's try a speed guy. Well, he didn't really have the hands to go with those guys. All right, let's try Corey Perry. He doesn't really have the speed to keep up with those guys, and he doesn't have that physical presence. It was like, damn, Palat really is that guy that is just like the perfect third dude to put with two premier players, and then to hammer that baby home, you put Stamkos on that line. You think, wow, Point, Kucherov, Stamkos, they should be unstoppable, but it just doesn't have that same productivity. So that's why when I look at it and people go, yeah, well, why don't you just trade Palat now and try to get help on defense? Because I think you severely hurt your top line, and you don't want to do that. You want to go full bore with these four lines that have rolled so well when they're all healthy. I know it's been rare, but and give him one shot to win the third straight cup.
You think they're going to go back because they were rolling with Kuch out recently. They were rolling with Cirelli, Point, Palat for those last two games.
Yeah.
I liked that. Like they were playing really well together. And I felt like it was that Cirelli Point combo.
I posted, I wouldn't mind seeing Kuch come back on that line with Stamkos and Killer whenever he comes back. I mean, if they really like that top line, just for a little while. I mean, obviously you're going to get back to your regular lines, but Kuch likes to switch it up, and in the postseason, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Kuch on that second line a little while because absolutely, Cirelli looked really good up there with Point and Palat.
Yeah, and the problem, go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
Everybody on this team that has been together, though, it's been Kucherov and Palat. I mean, they know each other inside and out from the triplets line all the way too. And we did this last week. We said we believe that this team has played healthy only 3 games this season, where the whole team has been there. So, and look where they're at in the playoff picture. So imagine a healthy Tampa Bay Lightning team. And right before we went on there, I looked to see what we have coming and our salary cap for next year. It's 42.3 right now, what we have under contract with Palat, Matty Joe, Ruda, and Elliott. So we're going to need a backup goaltender, another defenseman. Then you got Matty Joe and Palat. So, yeah, there's really no wiggle room there for Palat, especially the following season. If you look ahead, you have Sergei, Cernak, Foote, Cirelli, Killer, Colton, Perry, and Bellemare all coming available.
Yeah, and don't forget that Braden Point's kicker goes in next year. So he goes from, I think, 6 to 9.5, which is pretty wild. And kind of what you said about, Cirelli on that top line. the reason why Andre Platt also fits so well is because, listen, Kucherov is, he's never going to win a Selke trophy. I mean, no disrespect to the guy. This is not his game. That's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But Palat kind of hides some of that sometimes too. So, and on that second line, what I really do, and thank you so much for the comments, Tiffany. Doesn't you have a pretty smile, Tiffany? I noticed that a couple of days ago. Tiffany, thank you so much for your support. That second line, when you have Cirelli and Stamkos together, they are not afraid to put them out against the other team's top line because they can win faceoffs on both sides of the ice. And that's the thing I really think that John Cooper likes to do. He likes to keep Cirelli and Stamkos together. And we know how well Cirelli and Killorn play. But Cirelli and Stamkos are together because you can win faceoffs on both sides of the ice. And there was one thing that I didn't like about Cirelli and Point together is that Cirelli and Point, there was one point when Cirelli was playing on the opposite side, when he was playing on the right side when Kuch was out, is that he doesn't know where to go in the offensive zone. Like he was going in the high slot and Point, that's Point spot. And they it was almost like the Bad News Bears and they ran into each other. Yeah. Or like the beginning of Mighty Ducks when they were just deep, District 5. And they were just, and they ran into each other. And I go, yeah, that's probably a problem.
That's a good point.
Because you want Cirelli to play in the middle of the ice or on the left side. And for him, like playing him on the right side in Kuch's spot, it's a little different because he's not going to go in that area. He's going to hang off to the side, stay away from Point a little bit. Him and Cirelli, sometimes they go to the same part of the ice because, they're at their best when they're playing in the middle. But yeah, that's the great thing, as you guys said, is that they can move things around, whether it's up front, whether it's on defense. I mean, who cares? I mean, this team's won a game with 4 defensemen. I mean, that was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's what I would love to see him do the rest of the season is, shake it up. Let's see. Well, no. I mean, definitely.
Get in there. Shooter and Stash to the third pair.
Nice. No, what we've learned from the game a couple weeks ago with the 4 defenders is Hedman needs to be playing 30-plus minutes a night in the playoffs, right?
Right.
He needs to play half the game for the playoffs, no matter what.
No matter
but I do want to see Coop mix it up for the second half of the season. I would like I know we've got our lines. We've kind of had them for a couple years now. I'd like to see him mix it up a little bit and see if we can kind of come up with some even more magic because we're not scoring the 7-9 goals a game we used to and that Florida happens to be doing now. But it'll be a pretty interesting second half of the season. And I feel like we're in a really great position to kind of just, put it all together with the guys we have. And we know we can do it.
Well, it's really interesting because, you sit here and you watch some of the national guys talk about who the favorite is to win the cup and everything else. And, they're talking about Colorado and they're talking about Vegas and they're talking about a couple other teams. And they're like, well, if they got to make this move and they got to get this guy, they got to make this move. And who are they not talking about needing to make moves? But the Tampa Bay Lightning don't need to make moves. Like you said, they just need to stay healthy.
Under the radar, brother.
Exactly. I don't know how it's possible that a back-to-back Stanley Cup champion team is flying under the radar right now. But as far as the national media is concerned, they absolutely are. I mean, there's guys that can't wait to crown Florida. They can't wait to crown Colorado because especially Colorado, who just continues to keep coming up short year after year. People are like, oh, it's this year's the Avs year. This year's, well, no, it's not. No, it's not. So I kind of like that, sitting back here, watching our guys, watching our GM be able to kind of stand pat while everyone else is basically still looking for that one extra piece to figure out how to win in the postseason. Meanwhile, the Lightning are just saying, hey, let's get to the postseason. We know how to win when we get there.
All right, Jay, I got 2 more questions for you. Shoot. The hard-hitting questions. This might be the earliest show we've ever had, 8 o'clock start time. How early do we have to start to get Ian Beckles on the show? Oh, boy. I know if I know Ian Beckles, he is maybe asleep right now, maybe on his couch cuddled up, but he is not a late night person.
8:45. Yeah, 8 o'clock. You might get him if you start at 8. You might.
Right.
And he doesn't, he does some things like he'll do a podcast here and maybe with some people, but usually he shuts it down at a certain time. But he loves you guys, man. Yeah. So I mean, if I put a bug in his ear, I think he would do it.
I was trying to get him on for one of the playoff games, but it was after a game that was at least starting at 8 o'clock. He's like, no. I'm not a chance.
If there's someone you can put a bug in their ear, it's Mr. Esposito. All right, come on, that's the guy we need. That's our big guy.
I could barely get Phil to. Who knows, man? Sometimes I'll text Phil and they'll text me back 3 weeks later. Still need this? No,
just,
Phil.
just start telling him to call our call-in line on Tuesday nights. Be like, hey, call me back at this number, and maybe he'll just call in while we're doing the show.
It would be amazing if we get him to just call in and give us like random voice messages for us. That's it. If we could, like, just that would be amazing. If we could,
You guys suck.
Yes, dude. Any like no more than 5 seconds ever, just so we can put him on our board. That would be amazing.
I would love that. All right, second question is I've heard you're going to the Stadium Series. So what do we have to do to get you to show up at our little meetup?
When is it?
Friday night. Tootsie's, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, man. If I don't have anything else going on, for sure.
I'm just going to bother you that entire week and remind you.
Nah, just keep in contact. How far is it from the stadium?
It's
right
it's
there.
where it's Broadway.
Oh yeah, man. I'll stop by if I don't have anything like with the Lightning. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man.
Okay,
Well,
is Tiffany Sawyer going, or we gotta?
she'll be there, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say
Yeah.
we gotta get a lot of females over here to get the We the Thunder, baby.
I think we're approaching 90 people that have said they're going.
Really?
On the old Facebook event. So
All right.
We might be
just
cracking
look for the
100.
sea of blue, and that will be probably our crew.
Jay
love it,
hasn't
man.
been
With
on.
a giant in the middle.
Jay hasn't been on here since he, so well deserved, took over
No.
as
wow.
co-host of a legend in the Tampa Bay area who I grew up listening to Ron and Ron.
Oh yeah.
And then Ron himself went to the Sports Animal. So it was very cool. How was it to fill in for that legend and build off of a show that was everybody knew Ron and Ian? It got canceled. Ian went to the Bone, and then they came back. And what was it? 2 years later, Ron announces his retirement, and they immediately announce you as the new co-host.
Man, Thomas, thank you, man, for the kind words, brother. It's it's just a dream come true, man, to be honest with you, to be able to work in sports and to be able to talk about sports every day. It's something that, I look at that as motivation every day to make sure that I make Ron proud and to make, all the fans and the listeners and our supporters and, our numbers, we got our ratings back is the highest they've ever been the last year. So, I mean, we were doing something right, which is good. But, I put this out on Twitter, I think this morning, thanking all the people. It was some Twitter thing of like, thank people that have kind of paved the way for you. And I look back to when I interned back in 2014, and it was obviously John Momola, who's the program director, Derek Sharp, who's with USF, I interned under him, and then Rick Stroud and Tom Jones, and then Ron and Ian. I mean, those are the guys that kind of gave me my start. And I feel like that's the most important thing in anything, in any aspect of life, is to pay it forward, man. Be good to people. And you never know, when you're going to meet somebody down the road. That's not the only reason why you should do nice things. But one thing that I've learned, and especially being out in Vegas this past weekend, guys, is like good things happen to good people. And like the top Lightning and the top hockey people that are involved in like the media are just like awesome people. They're some of the most talented people. They're the nicest people. They're always looking out, and they're smart as hell. And they make you like want to be a good person and make you want to like strive to be the best at your profession. And every day I wake up and I'm so grateful to have the job that I have. And I look at it as like, I want to take what I learned from Ron and Ian and Rick and Tom and the big dog, rest in peace. And I want to make them proud, and I want like all of our listeners, like, that's why I love coming on with you guys, man. Sometimes like there's a little bit of like, oh my God, like radio people hate podcasting people. And it's just like, we can all eat, man. We can all have fun. And we love sports and we love the Lightning. So there's no reason why we can't all peacefully coexist and support each other. It's like, there's plenty of content. There's plenty of ears to go around. And I get like some people are like, oh, well, that takes away from this. I don't really look at it like that. I feel like if I promote good things and I'm a good person and I surround myself with good people and I continue to try to put out, good and entertaining content, then good things are going to happen to me. So I feel like my work ethic, I'll never say that I deserve the job, but I feel like I earned the job. And, I got a lot of well wishes from like all the organizations, like when the Lightning reach out and go, hey man, we're really, we're proud of you and congratulations. Like they didn't have to say that, they didn't have to do that. And for them to be able to reach out, like, and Tiffany says it right here, good on the thing. You get in return what you put out. And you guys know, I'm willing to put in whatever it takes. It's all about work ethic, man. And nobody can ever tell you how hard you can work. I may not be I have a face for radio, I may not have the greatest voice or have the most money or anything like that, but nobody's going to outwork me. And that's something that I've tried to put in my brain since day one. Just be good to people, man. My parents always raised me to treat people how you want to be treated. And now I'm 36 years old. I've been away from my whole family for 15, 16 years now. And I always think about it like, I'm Doug and Sue's little kid, I'm Doug and Sue's son. And I always want to make them proud and, try to promote, good habits and being good to people.
Yeah, that's a good segue. You might not even know this, but when the Stash and I started doing like these silly little animations,
love them.
Your co-host, Mr. Beckles, gave us a shout out and said, "Hey, come meet up with me for lunch." A couple of years ago, and we at that time we had no clue what the hell we were doing, and he gave
what we
us
wanted to do,
some
what
advice.
we're doing. Yeah,
we still don't really know what the hell we're doing,
or what we want to do.
He was really one of the first people that reached out to us, and we were like, "Oh man, Ian Beckles, we're having lunch with Ian Beckles. Hell yeah, we must be doing something right." So. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So we'll do this. Let's send you out with this. We're gonna play this bad boy real quick.
Oh yeah, I
don't know.
I know it's
if
coming.
you guys have seen this, but done a couple little animations with Jay and Ian. Let's roll it.
On your scooter and go down and go to the arena.
Look at you and your scooter jumping.
I'm never gonna have one of them scooters.
Never?
No.
Have you tried it?
No, I won't. That's not necessary. That's something that when I fall on it, I'm gonna say, why did I do that?
Really? Give it a shot. It's one time.
Don't do that, by the way.
No,
don't do that. Don't sway me to get hurt. Like you don't want me.
How is that getting hurt?
Me on a scooter?
How fast do you think you're going?
It doesn't matter. I could fall one more time.
You could also
one more time. I could fall, and I don't want to be on a scooter. One more time.
Are you built like that?
No, bro, you know how many times I've fallen in my life?
I understand, but what are you going to do? Live your life in a bubble?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
You see John Travolta, Boy in a Plastic Bubble?
Yeah.
I would like to be that guy, so I don't want to get hurt. And then you put my hands through little gloves and touch people and, just leave me alone.
Do a microphone doing a radio in a bubble?
Have you seen that movie? Boy in a Plastic Bubble?
Long time ago.
That's an old school John Travolta.
I love that. I got to get Tom to start sending me some clips again. Because I think he sent me like 3 or 4 and I just didn't see anything in them, but I got to get him. I got to email him and tell him to send me some more. And that's funny because Schoolie, and this must've been not long after that came out, Schoolie busted his ass on one of those scooters. But hey, Jay, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Hopefully we can get you on for some of these games before the playoffs. I know you do your thing too, so we got some conflicts, but let's get you on before the playoffs start or sometime during the playoffs. Where can people find you on the Twitter machine?
Pretty simple, guys. I mean, Beckles and Recher, Recher, at Jay Recher. I mean, that was part of the thing of signing up for all these social media things. Like right, and as soon as they all came out, I was like, nobody's gonna get Jay Recher. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tinder, Bumble, Hitch. No, I'm just kidding. Hinge, Hitch. What is it? Hinge. Hinge. Right. My roommate's filling me in, so I gotta make sure.
Are you kidding me?
See, Phil knows the deal. But yeah, at Jay Recher, and of course every day at 3:00 on WDAE 95.3 and 620. But yeah, man, I'm excited. So I'll see you guys out Saturday night or Friday night, right? Friday night in Nashville, man. Count me in.
I'll get you the deets. Brother. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right, boys. I appreciate you guys, man. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, thanks. All right, so let's I say we wrap this one up because I know the Stash is a little cranky tonight. No call-in numbers. I don't think there's anything else I really wanted to cover. We didn't have much going on. I think what else do I have here? Tyler Johnson, number 9, retired for Spokane Chiefs. Was cool to see. Stamkos
they made him pull it to the roof himself, to the rafters himself, right after he finished his arm surgery.
Yeah.
So oh, geez. They had him yanking the cord to pull that to the rafters.
I did see a cool article I wanted to bring up, and this was from Jake Ricker, Bolt Report, but I love that he did this article because I've been wanting to do the research on this, but
The black jersey one.
Oh, the black
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a whole article and did the research on like, are these black jerseys bad luck? And the results are they are not.
Yeah.
19-8-3. The team's got a winning record in these jerseys. And by the way,
There you go.
Sonia earlier this season let it slip. I don't know if she let it slip, but she kind of said that she is aware that the black jerseys will probably not be around next season.
Yeah.
So if you want one of these black jerseys, you better go buy one now.
They debuted on Stammer's birthday 3 years ago. On his birthday, we had the game, and he came out the tunnel in it for the first time. And then they wore it the first Saturday after that, and every Saturday since.
I like them. I know a lot of people don't like them, especially the broadcasters, because they can't really see the jersey numbers and whatnot. But I like the blacks. But again, if you want to get
the
one,
tradition of having that Saturday sweater, that's what I like.
Yeah, I think they'll probably replace it with the reverse retro, whatever they come out, and maybe that one's black, right?
Yeah. I think it's going to be black and silverish.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you want one, you better get it.
Let me do a shout out to 1771. We gave this shirt away last week on there.
Yep.
I went and bought it, picked it up today. And then they also have, for those of you going to Nashville, they have a long sleeve shirt that says Bolts with the guitar as and then instead of Music City, it says Hockey City, USA. So and it's a long sleeve, and if you live local, you can go and pick it up from his shop in St. Pete, or you can have it mailed to you.
Stephanie's got the plan right there. Get those Gasparilla jerseys on ice.
I didn't really like them.
Oh my God, you're the only one.
Cool. Well, I don't understand the black and white. Like, I know what it's about, but I don't like it. The black and white under the arms. That was weird to me.
To me, I just thought the whole pirate thing, it was cool. It was a good Gasparilla thing, but I think for the rest, to wear every Saturday or whatever would be kind of weird with that one lightning bolt on his head.
Yeah.
Very Harry Potter skullish.
Yeah.
Skull and crossbones. Can't go wrong. All right. You guys got anything else?
Not tonight. Thursday night.
Yeah. So actually, we do have one more thing. We're having a watch party this week. We haven't mentioned yet.
Kind of.
So far, I think it's just 3 of us. So yeah, if anyone wants to come out to Johnny's, it's in the East Lake area, McMullen Booth Road. We're going to be there Thursday night. They're going to have the sound on. They will stay open for the entire game. We're going to be out there chopping it up, watching the game. So if anyone wants to come out, come join us on Thursday night, 2 nights from tonight. And we've also got a game the night after. No watch party for that. And then we'll be back. Do we have a game next Tuesday? Yeah, we have a game next Tuesday.
Yes,
Post-game show. What is it, Edmonton? I know Edmonton's
so it's a
coming up.
pregame show, isn't it?
Yes.
No, it's a home game, I thought.
No, I didn't think we had any. Did we? Yeah, we do.
There is a game next
Tuesday. It's Jersey.
At New Jersey.
At Jersey.
Okay, so it's an away game. We will be back after that game. So come check us out on this show called We the Thunder. Until then, this has been We the Thunder.
Wait. I'll be at the State Fair on Saturday if anybody wants to show up. Meet me at the Amish Donut stand at 10:05.
Oh my God.
They open at 10.
Swipe left, everybody. Swipe left.
All right. This has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder. Come out on Thursday night.
That's it?
That's it.